ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलान् श्रीगुरुवैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणरघुनाथान्वितां तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नाम्ने नमस्ते सरस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे पञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। सप्तकाञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, I welcome you all once again to our systematic study of Vedic scriptures. For ones who have newly joined recently in last weeks, so the systematic study of Vedic scriptures is a mm, is a touch point where we all come together and seek something from the wisdom of the Vedas, and in that it's a big ocean. One can read many literatures, scriptures, smritis, shrutis, samhitas, Upanishads, Puranas, Itihasas, many other forms of such a very esoteric knowledge. But when we get more deeper into such kind of literatures, we may shortfall of our own capacity to digest everything. We may try, depending on one's intellectual capacities, one's abilities to apply that, assimilate that, yeah. But at least for me, I feel that without a foundation, knowing all is kind of like very fussy, yeah. So fussy that we can't appreciate. We can't appreciate the knowledge or wisdom that's preserved for us very securely, yeah, but we are not able to appreciate. Just like a really 22 karat golden necklace is among 1 gram golden necklaces. Huh? How do we differentiate that? They look similar.
Guruji, how do we make our foundation good to apply these knowledges in our life?
Mm-hmm.
Knowledge, esoteric.
Yeah, we are coming to that point. Yeah. So first we need to understand the problem, that there is guilt and there is real. There is something that is fake gold and there is something real gold. These days fake is more demanding, yeah, because I think the real is not cheap, isn't it?
Yes.
The real thing is not cheap, it's very expensive.
Yes.
So people tend to go for guilt. This knowledge is also not cheap. So people go to
cheap
easy ways.
Easy.
Yeah, and when they go to easy ways, now the same piece of gold, which is 1 gram gold, if you go to the goldsmith and you say, hey, you claim this is perfect, this is the best, this is the most, he will just laugh, isn't it?
Yes.
Because that person knows what is real gold. We can't cheat him because he learned it. Because he learned how to know what is true, what is not true, what is right, what is not right. So he knows. So he will just take a stone, he rubs against it, and just with simple process or chemical test, he knows that this is not gold.
Mm.
But mass of the class of people,
Mm.
yeah, are really attracted towards this gold. And even if after people tell that no, this is not real gold, they think that oh, the real gold, come on, I know it's not in my range, not my reach. So let me just continue, continue with
Right.
what little I have and do the same thing again and again. And after some time, then we start appreciating that this, why I'm doing all this nonsense.
Mm.
Huh?
Right.
Is the value of mine increasing just by this fake gold?
No.
Because people will know it, right? They'll also go to the same shops. They know, I mean, I don't know why I picked up this gold
Mm.
example, but uh, this people also go into the same 1 gram shops. Yeah, this why I remember is because in Charminar in
Mm.
Hyderabad there is a big business. They
Mm.
don't sell gold, but they sell so much 1 gram gold. They earn enough that they earn more than a goldsmith, gold shop.
Mm. Mm.
Why? Because a lot of demand is there for
Mm.
cheap things. But eventually, a stage will come that we think that why should we fake? Why can't we be our own? Huh? It's
Right.
not late. Do we think it's late? No, it's not late. There is still ample of time. There is still, um, if we have determination and if we have enthusiasm, then we can really earn. Hmm. Then people will either say that, okay, even if I have 2 grams of such real thing, I'm happy. I don't need a full necklace. I don't need a full necklace of fake. Even if I have little, that is the real thing.
Mm.
So, and coming back, what was your question is, how do we know, right? The
Right. Right.
basics. Yes.
Right.
And that is exactly very, very important. So we don't want to just dive into such a kind of varieties of things where there is a probability of miss what do you call losing the track. Yeah.
Right. Right.
So very simple book. There are still simpler books, but a simple book, one book for everything. Yeah. I think I told in the past. Yeah, I think maybe
Mm.
Shubha Mataji were not there. There were some Christian preachers who came to me, and during a conversation, they were kind of a challenging question, saying, "Hey, why you guys have so many books?
Mm.
Huh? We have only
Mm.
one Bible." Huh? And I
Mm.
would say that our Bible mm,
Mm.
would be Bhagavad Gita. If we
Mm.
if we res- if we come to Bhagavad Gita, then we at least start appreciating who we are.
Right.
And if we don't even know that, what is the use of all other books?
जी जी
Hmm? So Bhagavad Gita is, I would say, such a wonderful book because it is first of all it is the Lord's own words.
जी
Hmm? Other things are kind of written based on what has happened. Yeah, and in that, if one is putting his philosophical point, there can be, yeah, we don't know how accurate it is from the past time actually happened, unless they are great personalities like Valmiki, Vyasadev. Yeah. If people start interpreting and writing, then it loses its own essence. So Bhagavad Gita is a means through which we can really understand who I am. There are five topics that are discussed: Jiva, Ishvara, Karma, Kala. Did I miss something? Prakriti. Did I say that? Yeah, these are the 5 things. At least if we know this, then we know, okay, yeah, at least I know about me little. And the wonderful beauty of this Bhagavad Gita is it is not just a Sanskrit. Of course, it is Sanskrit, but it is a guide which is a kind of a living guide, which means if you are reading Bhagavad Gita today, the whole book in 1 week, understanding that you will get this year, and the understanding if you read the same book next year for 1 week again is different, and then different and different, and it always This Bhagavad Gita, though it is this one book of 18 chapters, hmm, of so
Hmm.
many shlokas, and then, but what is happening is this is bringing parivartan. This is bringing a transformation inside us.
Hmm.
Because ultimately, we are reading book not for our own recreation or enjoyment, or to feel I'm educated, I'm learned. Hmm?
Hmm.
No, we are looking really in our life something to hold on to, which we can improve day by day by day, and in that way we want to advance.
Ji,
And
Guruji.
Bhagavad Gita is that kind of book which will never keep us bored. Why? Because it's not that, okay, I know now who I am. I am soul. I know who is Lord. It is Krishna. Who is Prakriti. It is his energy. This knowledge is one thing.
Yes.
But what does it mean for me in
Hmm.
application? This is why it's called Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam.
Hmm.
This is the topmost knowledge the Lord Himself is declaring. If at
Hmm.
all we want to know that knowledge, though it is basic and though it is fundamental, but
Hmm.
Krishna is saying that this is the topmost knowledge, which means if you know this,
Hmm.
you don't need to know anything else.
Ji, Guruji. Guruji, I have one more question.
Mm-hmm.
So, is it okay, like, अभी बिजी बिजी लाइफ्स रहती हैं हमारी, तो
Mm-hmm.
पहले मैं घर पे रहती थी तो मैं टाइम निकाल लेती थी हमेशा पुराण और भगवत गीता रीड करने के लिए। अभी नहीं
Mm-hmm.
निकाल पाती। और फिर मैंने सोचा रात को बेड टाइम सोने से
Mm-hmm.
पहले हमेशा एटलीस्ट 5 श्लोक में पढ़ के सोऊं। फिर मेरे
Mm-hmm.
को ख्याल आया कि दिस इज नॉट राइट, इतनी प्योर और पवित्र बुक को मैं अपने बेडरूम में रखूं।
Mm-hmm.
सो कैन आई डू दैट और नॉट? तब से वो रुक ही गया,
Mm-hmm.
पढ़ती नहीं हूँ फिर अब मैं।
Mm-hmm.
इट्स बीन 4 months।
Yeah, I mean, this is a kind of case-to-case question. So, but I would like generalized answer would be that reading Bhagavad Gita anytime is very much approved, agreed. Only
ओके।
thing is that, okay, when we are holding the book, how carefully are we holding the book? Hmm? Yeah, we are not just keeping on our lap, on our bed, or wherever down. So
ओके।
we need to maintain the purity. Hmm?
ओके।
It's not like a nighttime novel. I think that's what you are feeling, right? So to keep it,
जी।
does it become like that? No. But reading before going to bed is nice. But I would still see that why to keep in the end of the day, because there is a lot of thing that you can benefit if you read in the morning. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what I would prefer is don't read in the night of that half an hour, whatever time you want. Sleep that half an hour. Get up early, early half an hour early, so that you can read morning. Because when you read in the morning, that consciousness will you will carry that
थ्रू आउट द
consciousness with you
डे।
through the day.
यस। सो मॉर्निंग में मेरे को एक अजीब सा ऑब्सेशन रहता है कि साफ घर में तो भगवान आएंगे, मतलब गंदे घर में तो भगवान आएंगे नहीं। क्लीनिंग में बहुत टाइम वेस्ट हो जाता है। कैन आई जस्ट लाइक पहले मैं मेरा ध्यान और गीता पढ़ लूं और उसके बाद
Yeah,
इज इट
that's
ओके?
fine. That's
ओके।
fine. Mm.
ओके। थैंक यू गुरुजी।
Yeah. Even
दैट।
in case of japa also. Yeah, you can call me Sudama Das. Yeah. Mm. In case of what is it?
जपा।
Japa also. Yeah, you don't have to kind of clean the whole home, and then yeah, important is that you are clean and then you can begin japa.
ओके। थैंक यू।
Okay, thank you. I mean, let's start the session today. Yeah. But
जी।
what I was giving was insight into the value of this book, and I'm
जी।
really happy that you all are with me, that we are going through this verse by verse and understanding the in-depth meaning. But I can again bet on it that though it took already 3 years, 4 years, that we are just in the 12th chapter, and it will take more years. And after that, if again we start Bhagavad Gita from chapter 1, again we want to continue, because this is a kind of lifetime companion that
जी।
we always want to read, always want to assimilate to get more deeper understanding and apply that jnana vijnana. So this also is that giving not only the knowledge but also the way how we apply this knowledge in practical ways. So Saying so, let me see who joined. Who can? Okay. Lisa, if I can ask, can you see the screen?
Hanji, yes.
Okay. May I ask if you can read this verse 3, 4 and translation and purport?
यस, लेकिन मुझे हिंदी नहीं आती पढ़ना।
ये इंग्लिश में है।
अच्छा, ये इंग्लिश में, ठीक है। हरे कृष्णा। ये त्व अक्षरम अनिर्देश्यम अव्यक्तम पर्युपशाते सर्वत्रागम अचिंतम सा च कुतस्थम अचलम ध्रुवम संयम्येन्द्रिया क्रमं सर्वत्र समबुद्ध्या ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मम एव सर्वभूतहिते रताः. But those who fully worship the unmanifested, that which lies beyond the perception of the senses, the all-pervading, inconceivable, unchanging, fixed, and immovable, the impersonal conception of the absolute truth, by controlling the various senses and being equally disposed to everyone, such persons engaged in the welfare of all at last achieve me. Those who do not directly worship the Supreme Godhead Krishna, but who attempt to achieve the same goal by an indirect process, also ultimately achieve the same goal, Sri Krishna. After many births, the man of wisdom seeks refuge in me, knowing that Vasudeva is all. When a person comes to full knowledge after many births, he surrenders unto Lord Krishna. If one approaches the Godhead by the method mentioned in this verse, he has to control the senses, render service to everyone, and engage in the welfare of all beings. It is inferred that one has to approach Lord Krishna, otherwise there is no perfect realization. Often there is much penance involved before one fully surrenders unto him. In order to perceive the supersoul soul within the individual soul, one has to cease the sensual activities of seeing, hearing, tasting, working, etc. Then one comes to understand that Supreme Soul is present everywhere. Realizing this, one envies no living entity. He sees no difference between man and animal because he sees soul only, no other outer covering. But for the common man, this method of impersonal realization is very difficult. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So so here we have very nice. Yeah. So if someone who is saying everything is equal, right? So worshipping everyone is same. Sab Malik ek hai, or the understanding that God is one. Uh, it doesn't matter what way we take. Yeah. So there is here also a statement which can be used in either ways. Yeah. Yeah. Yetvaksharam anirtesyam avyaktam paryupasate sarvatragam achintyam sha kutastam achalam dhruvam. So this is saying that what it means, the nature of seeing unmanifested. So there are two groups, one who is worshipping the personal form of the Lord, and other group is one who is taking the path of worshipping the impersonal form of the absolute truth, which means the Brahman Jyoti, or the Paramatma inside one's, not the ultimate, which is the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna in the Goloka, who has wonderful face, who has peacock feather, who holds flute, who has yellow garments and kaustubha. So there is a lot of description of the Supreme Lord, but they would not see that as a supreme. They would see that the absolute form has no form. Hmm. Nir, what is it called? Nirakar. Yeah, so they worship Nirakar. And first of all, in this verse, there is the explanation what is this Nirakar, which means unmanifested. What does an unmanifested means? Characteristics of unmanifested means manifesting means something that is made up, a manifestation, yeah, which is created, just like a building. Before the building is created, it is in unmanifested form. There is no floors, there is no walls, there are no windows, no doors, nothing. But after it is constructed with sand, cement, and bricks, everything, then it is manifested. So, which means that the same sand, bricks, cement, everything which is in the bags, yeah, it is not yet formed into the personal form that we can use it, that we can see it, that we can benefit from. So all the ingredients are there. Because of the ingredients only everything is built, but the ingredients are still in the unmanifested form. So unmanifestation mean unmanifested form is that is absolute, and then it is beyond sense perception. When we talk about Hmm. we are perceiving everything with our eyes, with our nose, with our hands. So with our sense organs, we are able to see. But this form of the Lord, yeah, just like can we see the air? No, we can't see the air. Can we feel the air? Yes, when it is touching us. But the Lord in this absolute form is even we cannot even perceive with our sense of touch, sense of taste, sense of sight, sense of hearing, sense of smelling. uh, he is beyond that. So he's beyond that. And then he's inconceivable. When it is beyond that, our ability is to understand things based on our sense perceptions. And beyond that, we can't even understand what it is. Just imagining ourselves like when we are talking that there is Australia, some part of the world, somewhere. We have never gone. Now, what is if there is a very wonder of the world that is present there? It's only inconceivable for us. Or let's take about this. What is it called? Um, Eiffel Tower. I think most of you have gone there. Yeah, it's such a long tower. Yeah, but how is it sustaining such a great uh, disastrous conditions like earthquakes or yeah, heavy rain or cyclones? How? Yeah, it is built such a way that there is scientifically shown like this is the way that it is built. That's why it's sustaining science. So there is science, but that science we can't see, and if we do not have the ability, then it's inconceivable. Lord, who is not creating one such wonder of the world, he is creating so many wonders of the world. Just imagine, just imagine of kids having milk teeth and the real teeth later. Now that's how is that possible, and that too happening for every kid. And then there is this different phases of life. Exactly, it is happening at that time. Different weathers are happening, seasons are coming. So yeah, so we we are we are stuck to see how this is happening, and that is called inconceivable potency of the Lord. So this unmanifested form or the energy of the Lord is inconceivable, and it's unchanging. So there is no like, okay, why now in 50 years so many things change in this world. Hmm. So is the Lord is also changing? Once upon a time the Lord is all merciful. What happened to his mercy? Is the Lord is also changing? No, he's also not changing. uh, So he can't, it's not like because he's forced to be part of this, so he's also have to change. No, he's Navyavan, he is always youthful, ever youthful. And not only that, he still has complete control of everything to the level of a minute atom. So nothing can be changed. He's fixed, he's immovable, and this is the first verse. And then the second verse is, what is that? Hmm. सन्नियमेन्द्रियः ग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धया ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूत hite ratha. So Sarva Bhuta Hite, for the welfare of all living entities. So one who is in this worshipping the Lord in the unmanifested form, what he is also achieving is this same. That is what here in the translation we see. For those who fully worship the unmanifested, that which lies beyond the perception of senses, these are the qualities, characteristics of the unmanifested form. What is that? Beyond the sense perception, and all pervading, inconceivable, unchanging, fixed and immovable. That is the impersonal conception of the absolute truth. What is he doing? By controlling the various senses. Now we come to the activities. Okay, we may think, okay, this is also nice. Is it a first step I should take and then come to the next step? Huh? Let's try to understand that. By controlling various senses and being equally disposed to everyone, which means having no envy. Equally disposed to everyone means there is nothing mine and yours. Huh? It's not like, okay, partiality. No, such persons engage in the welfare of all. They are not thinking like first I should benefit, next my family should benefit, next my community should benefit, next my state, city. It's not like that. He is seeing that what is happening through this process. He is coming to the state of what is that? In order to perceive the super soul within the individual soul, one has to see his sense activities of seeing, hearing, tasting, working, all these things. Then one comes to understand the super soul is present everywhere. Why? As long as we have attachment to our body, to our senses, all the time we are still differentiating me, mine, I, with, ours, we, all these things. Realizing this, one envies no living entity. He sees no difference between man and animal because he sees soul only. Then there is this all, what is it called, non-violence in a true sense appreciated, and animal slaughtering will be not there. So all these things come when one can really control senses and appreciate that the super soul is present in everyone. Uh, But for the common man, this method is impersonal realization, is very, very difficult. So this means even if one thinks that okay, I believe in impersonal form, but to appreciate and to really worship is not easy, hmm? Because that needs lot of sense control to that very point that he is seeing everyone equal. Hmm. Yeah, thank you. And next, did Sakshi come? No. Yeah. So then, Sagar Prabhu, would you like to read the next verse?
Yes, yes, Prabhu. One second.
Yeah.
क्लेशो दिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम् देहवद्भिर्रवाप्यते. Translation. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. Puppet. The group of transcendentalists who follow the path of the inconceivable, unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme Lord are called Jnana Yogis. and persons who are in full Krishna consciousness, engaged in devotional service to the Lord, are called bhakti yogis. Now, here the difference between Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga is definitely expressed. The process of Jnana Yoga, although ultimately bringing one to the same goal, is very troublesome. Whereas the path of Bhakti Yoga, the process of being in direct service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is easier and is natural for the embodied soul. The individual soul is embodied since time immemorial. It is very difficult for him to simply theoretically understand that he is not the body. Therefore, the Bhakti Yogas accepts the deity of Krishna as worshipable because there is some bodily conception fixed in the mind which can thus be applied. Of course, worship of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead in his form within the temple is not idol worship. There is evidence in the Vedic literature that worship may be saguna or nirguna, of the Supreme possessing or not possessing attributes. Worship of the deity in the temple is saguna worship, for the Lord is represented by material qualities. But the form of the Lord, though represented by material qualities such as stone, wood, or oil paint, is not actually material. That is the absolute nature of the Supreme Lord. A crude example may be given here. We may find some mailboxes on the street, and if we post our letters in those boxes, they will naturally go to their destination without difficulty. But any old box or an imitation which may find somewhere but which is not authorized by the post office will not do the work. Similarly, God has an authorized representation in the deity form, which is called as Arka Vigraha. Archa Vigraha, sorry, which is called as Archa Vigraha. This Archa Vigraha is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord. God will accept service through that form. The Lord is omnipotent, all powerful. Therefore, by his incarnation as Archa Vigraha, he can accept the services of the devotee just to make it convenient for the man in conditioned life. So for a devotee, there is no difficulty in approaching the Supreme immediately and directly. But for those who are following the impersonal way to spiritual realization, the path is difficult. They have to understand the unmanifested representation of the Supreme through such Vedic literatures as the Upanishads. And they have to learn the language, understand the non-perceptual feelings, and realize all these processes. This is not very easy for a common man. A person in Krishna consciousness, engaged in devotional service, simply by the guidance of bona fide spiritual master, simply by offering regular obeisances unto the duty, simply by hearing the glories of the Lord, and simply by eating the remnants of the foodstuffs offered to the Lord, realizes the Supreme Personality of the Godhead very easily. There is no doubt that impersonalists are unnecessarily taking troublesome path with the risk of not realizing the absolute truth at the ultimate end. But the personalist, without any risk, trouble, or difficulty, approaches the Supreme Personality directly. A similar passage appears in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is stated that if one ultimately has to surrender onto the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, the surrendering process is called bhakti, but instead takes the trouble to understand what is Brahman and what is not Brahman, and spends his whole life in that way, the result is simply troublesome. Therefore, it is advised here that one should not take up this troublesome path of self-realization because there is uncertainty in the ultimate result. A living entity is eternally an individual soul, and if he wants to merge into the spiritual whole, he may accomplish the realization of the eternal and knowledgeable aspects of his original nature. But the blissful portion is not realized. By the grace of some devotees, such as transcendentalists, highly learned in the process of Jnana Yoga, may come to the point of Bhakti Yoga or devotional service. At that time, long practice in impersonalism also becomes a source of trouble because he cannot give up the idea. Therefore, an embodied soul is always in difficulty with the unmanifest, both at the time of practice and at the time of realization. Every living soul is partially independent, and one should know for certain that this unmanifested realization is against the nature of his spiritual, blissful self. One should not take up this process. For every individual living entity, the process of Krishna consciousness, which entails full engagement in devotional service, is the best way. If one wants to ignore this devotional service, there is the danger of turning to atheism. Thus, the process of centering attention on the unmanifested, the inconceivable, which is beyond the approach of the senses, as already expressed in this verse, should never be encouraged at any time, especially in this age. It is not advised by Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Sagar Prabhu. It was very nice one. A thought came to me. Let me try if I can do it. So, what I want to do is that I want to kind of create a short breakouts and split our group into two. And then one is talking about the benefits. This debate is about one group is telling the benefits of taking up to this unmanifested worship, and the other one is towards the manifested worship. Of course, we have the purport, yeah, but nevertheless, it's very clear already here. But I would still want that maybe something is still back of our mind with our own experiences, our own knowledge in the past, through which we want to still say, hey, but there is still a chance that uh, nirguna worship is still, I think, is better, is practical or useful. So let's participate. Group A, I don't know who will be that, and Group B, Group A will be supporting the line of Brahman realization or the unmanifested form of worship, and which is Jnana Yoga, and the other one would be the Bhakti Yoga. So then after at 10 o'clock we will resume, and then we will present and hear to both the sides. Assign. Okay, so give me 1 second. Assign. How many are we total?
15. Prabhuji.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Add. Okay, so I have added. Open all rooms. So let me know if you're already in your groups. If you can confirm you're in the groups, let me know. You can message me.
అప్పు ప్రభు ఇంకా వెళ్ళలేదు గ్రూప్ కి.
Mm-hmm. I think Apu Prabhu is already there.
Yeah, no.
the form things.
It's not only about.
I think everyone is back. So what we'll do is first we listen all the points from both the sides, and after that each side will have the possibility to ask the other side, okay, of this point. Maybe you explain this more, or no, this is not right because of this reason. So first we ask team 1 to present their case.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So we will. I will just give a short summary, and then everybody will contribute the points there, because we had some difficult points that only one person. At least I couldn't summarize everything. So just to start with, like we think Nirguna worship is.
Can you turn on your video? I don't know if others can see if you turn on the video. Let me try to put you on allow multiple pins and replay the spotlight. Can you see Ram Raghav Prabhu, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, finally.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Finally.
it's not in recording.
Okay, I have to record this. Yes, you are recorded.
Okay, so Prabhuji summarize. I mean, our group is supporting the Nirguna worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that is based on the. There are multiple points to support that. One is the Jnana Yoga. So the Jnana Yoga is important. We think that we should first develop the knowledge as a foundation, and then based on that we can develop the bhakti. Because if we directly go for a bhakti, and especially in the sagun roop, then we normally get distracted, because it's not one sagun roop of the Supreme Personality, because the Supreme Personality appeared in several forms. So there is a normal tendency to get lost in different forms. We might start comparing whether this form is better than the other one, and until we develop ourselves in Jnana Yoga, we won't be able to come to overcome that confusion. So Nirgun Bhakti is more, I would say, favorable. And Apu Prabhu, would you like to please bring some references about Bhagavatam?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So I was reading actually a few days back the Jayabadharma. So there I got connected with a very interesting one point is there. There is one verse is there in Bhagavatam which describes the quality of the Kunistodikari. So that verse is 10. Anyone remember that number? 10?
108413.
108413.
108413, and then another one.
I think this is also in Kapila's teachings, no?
I think it is 11 to 46. I think it is 11 to 46. I think it's 11 to 46 most of the where it is actually telling that he has the tendency to worship the Archa Vigraha, but he don't consider the devotees and other peripheral is worshipable. So this is according to the Bhagavad. Bhagavatam is the Konistodikara or Pakrika Bhakta. Then Madhyamadikara and Uttamadikara also it is described. But actually in the Jaiva Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentioned that when Pulinogram came to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and asked that what is the stage of the Vaishnava. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again told there is three stages, Konistodikara, Madhyamadikara, Uttamadikara. But in that case, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't quote that verse on the Bhagavatam. That means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't consider that Konistodikara at all in the stage of the Bhakti. So he started from the Muddham and the Uttam, which is described in the Bhagavatam, and that too he mentioned as like a Konishta Muddham and Uttam. So that means who has the only the worship in the Archa Vigraha, so he is also not in the, actually the rice stage of the Bhakti. So it is not recommended by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And another one is the which one Srila Prabhupada used to quote from the Bhagavatam is that Dashatma Buddhi Kunaveta Dhatute. So that quote. So there also it is mentioned that whoever even considered that some image or murti made from the minmay means soil is worshipable, and he has very good connection with the family members and others who worship the tirthas also as like a jala buddhi. He is also Gokara. He is like a S. That means in that case also if it is not authentic or not like recommended and not following the other acharyas things, then also only the worshipping that murti is also not in the stage of the murti.
That's it, or?
I think Sindhuja Mataji also had a point about many people they worship Nirguna form. Maybe you would like to add, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. And yeah, first thing I would like to add this: we have this salagram, Prabhuji, that doesn't have a shape. Means like we worship that, and also in one verse in Telugu I can say, "Indu kaldandu ledanu sandeham kaladu chakri sarva pagatundu." And then the Vediki chusina and then they can do like Prahlad Maharaj tells to Hiranyakashipu that the God is everywhere, like he can also in this pillar. So I can say that for that there is no need of a form, the God. So we can worship anywhere, everywhere, anytime. Hare Krishna.
Any more before we go to the room 2, team 2?
And we also checked, I mean, some other general references is like, it says for beginning, Sagun worship is okay, yeah, because for very neophytes. And but at some point in time, for advancement, the devotee has to take shelter of Jnana Yoga. Otherwise, it becomes more of a emotional based bhakti. And we won't be able to defend when we, for example, talking to some atheist. Then they just say that, okay, we are just emotional and there is no fact around it. Yeah. Jnana Yoga is, we have to take the shelter of Jnana Yoga in that case. And that leads to the Nirgun devotion.
Okay. Very nice. Done. Very, very nice. Yeah. So let's hear also the other team. What do they have to share? Who is representing or presenting team 2 or Bhagwan Prabhu?
Yes, Guruji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Okay.
Some points I will tell, and if I have not covered, then others can also come in. So yeah, the first point was that the meditation, so concentrating on the Brahman is quite difficult because Brahman is limitless, and where to concentrate, what to concentrate is very confusing for ordinary person. So yeah, for the proper meditation, one need saguna form, so that uh, one can do meditation on the Lord. Uh, Second point was that the Ashtanga yoga, or the practice of focusing, is also very cumbersome. One has to follow yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dhyan, dharana, samadhi. So all these stages, and then at the end they reach to this samadhi stage, where so this process is also very cumbersome. One has to, as you said, I think in one class, that 12 years, or many years one required to learn asanas or pranayama and so on. So that was the second point, that yeah, focusing on the personal form of the Lord is recommended. The third point was the engaging in the service of Krishna, or in the saguna form of the Lord. It involves the seva service involving others. So one develops the qualities like humbleness, serving attitude, and also kindness, and the one can detach him herself from ordinary mundane activities by attaching to Krishna. So attaching Krishna automatically, one does not require to put much effort to detach himself, which is also in the impersonal form. One has to properly focus to detach himself and follow everything recommended. But this comes automatically in the saguna form, worshipping of the Lord. Relationship between the God and devotee is also much stronger. One can have the personal touch, personal association of the Lord, like in this karma by example, she was making a khichdi for Lord Jagannath, and she has personal direct relationship with the Lord, which is not possible in the impersonal relationship with the Lord. So one gets the fulfillment, nourishment to focus, and one gets the ultimate happiness in this worship of the Lord. And the faith on the Lord also increases rapidly. There are chances in the impersonal worship of the Lord that one's mind is flickering, moving here and there, in because one has no focus, or one has no guidance, proper guidance, because there are no scriptures like Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam available, which are directly addressing the Lord and his devotees, and pastimes of the Lord. So there is much more help available in the direct saguna worship of the Lord. And yeah, the, it is also easy to progress, focusing on the bhakti path, on the saguna worship, because one does not need to go in the seclusion. One does not need to lock oneself in the room, or focus on the meditation or things like that. So it is much easier in in the group of devotees to glorify, to chant the name of the Lord. And one can do these things like offering prasad and offering humble obeisances to the Lord. And yeah one one is one is not required to these strict regulations which are needed to follow in the impersonal realization, where one can cook and offer Lord food stuff and just take it. So it is easier to follow. uh, yeah the, yeah if I have missed any other points, then when anyone can from the group can come in. I think then
No.
we have covered.
Okay. Very nice. So, yeah. Team 2, do you have any questions for Team 1 or do you refute something?
Yes, Prabhuji, I had a question about Hiranyakashipu.
Mhm.
Puja Mataji said that if Prahlad Maharaj was seeing Lord everywhere, then why he came in the personal form, not remained impersonal?
Sindhu Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, like he believes that the Prahlad Maharaj believes that the God is everywhere. So here the the Hiranyakashipu asked that, okay, could you show me the real form of God? Then only Narasimha Bhagavan came. Prabhuji, like he believed that he is everywhere. Prahlad Maharaj.
Yeah. To add to that, Prabhuji, see, Prahlad Maharaj did not meditate on the form of Narsimha. He was meditating on the supreme form of the Lord, okay, which was Nirgun. Narsimha Dev came in that form because that was the condition, right? I mean, the Hiranyakashipu cannot be killed by a man or an animal, or so that was the reason the God has to take the specific form. But Prahlad Maharaj's devotion was towards the Nirgun form of the Lord.
Is it? I don't know.
I mean, that's what we understand, like from is that okay, he says the God is everywhere. He didn't say the God is like this, God is having 4 hands, or God is having 2 hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe I think we need to really get this right. So, did Prahlad really worship the Nirgun form? Because, yeah, he is appreciating the universal pervasiveness of the Lord, but he still worship the personal form of the Lord because who is his spiritual master?
Narad Muni?
Hmm. So, what would he give? Bhakti. And in which form?
Prabhuji, bhakti could be also in the Nirgun form, no? I mean,
Yeah. So, yeah. So if we are considering Prahlad Maharaj as Mahabhagavat, so he's all absorbed. And when he is, I think in the seventh canto, we also hear the glorification of the Lord's personal forms through the verses of Prahlad Maharaj. So it's not Nirgun worship. Hmm.
And Prabhuji, might Prahlad Maharaj have also described the beauty of the Lord?
Yes, that's why. Okay, but yeah, so that's one point. But nevertheless, hmm, yeah, but this question is nice. Anyone still want to explain? Yeah, the answer is very simple. See, Prahlad appreciates the Lord in his personal form, but not Hiranyakashipu. To show him, so he has appeared that form. Gaur Bhagwan Prabhu.
Yes. So,
Hmm.
yes, the Narsimha form. But yeah, I had seen Prabhuji in this movie called Harivamsha also, that yeah, when this when Prahlad Maharaj was chanting or singing kirtan, then Lord also appeared.
Hmm.
Lord Vishnu also gave them a darshan, and
Yeah,
uh,
so it's a personal form, right?
yes.
Okay. Any other point from team 2 to team 1?
Uh,
Anyone? Still? Otherwise, we'll change the side. Then, okay. Now, team 1 can ask team 2 what from your side. Yeah, you have any questions or you agree? You don't agree?
Maybe one question can ask.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think what Bhagavan said that it's very easy with the devotees to to appreciate the form of the Lord, but in this in the same case, people also get cheated, especially in India, that this is God, that is God, and people. I think Ram Raga Prabhu also said that in this case, then people also get the atheistic view of the Lord, and also that others religions also get a chance to attack on this point that because other religions do not believe in the form, and people who worship the form of the Lord, when they do not have the answers or the questions, then they get defeated. Also, they convert those people very easily.
Okay.
So there is a tendency to get defeated, and so many people yeah lost their faith from God.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. What do you say, Gaur Bhagwan Prabhu? Is it not
So
quite
the Saguna
sensitive?
Saguna form. So it is, I think, the question of not the Saguna worship when one is in the proper line and association, then there is no question. But it is maybe the person has still not reached to the yeah to the yeah to the required place, or has not used his intelligence properly, or yeah but he has not, the person has not reached to that uh, proper association, or yeah. So I think then the person has to still continue to try and search
Mm-hmm.
to continue the journey. So it is not the problem of the Saguna worship, but it's the yeah, circumstances, or the problem at the side of that person or seeker who has to still continue to find the best.
Hmm. Okay. What do you say, Adirasa Prabhu?
Yes. So what I understood that in the beginning, Gyan Yoga is better. So
Jnana
in the
Yoga is
beginning
better.
stage.
So what you are saying is the Jnana Yoga is must.
yes, Prabhuji.
Uh-huh. What do you say? Is it the case?
Yes, this is what we understood from Bhagwan's point of view. So in the
No, do you
beginning,
agree?
yes, Gyan Yoga is must then in the beginning.
So you're which team now? I'm
One
confused now.
Prabhuji, one question to Gaur Bhagwan Prabhu. I mean, see, normally with the Sagun worship, the problem is there are so many forms to worship, right? So then the question comes, which form to worship? And then sometimes like people start doing the comparison. Like, it's very typical in India, no? They say, okay, you go to this temple for this, you go to that temple for that. And that's where then people lose the focus, and we might get more into karma kand rather than really keeping the focus on the bhakti because of the different forms. They bewilder common people. So unless somebody has a very strong Jnana Yoga foundation, there is a chance that we get bewildered because of the different forms of the God.
Mm-hmm. What do you say then? The
Yes,
cheating is
for
there.
that purpose, to know the supreme truth, one should approach to the authentic spiritual master in the and in the lineage of four sampradayas. If one goes to any yeah, any random spiritual master, or any random conception of learning the supreme truth, then he may not attain, because if one has to reach the particular destination, one has to also take the proper road for it. So
Mm-hmm.
it
That's
is
right. See, all the forms are
applying the intelligence to.
Prabhuji, may I say something?
Yeah. For which side are you saying? For which side?
Oh,
Team 2. Huh?
actually, I'm in team 2, but
then you have to stay there. Yeah.
okay. I have to stay.
Yeah, you have to support. Come on. Yeah.
Okay. So,
You are chosen for team 2.
भक्ति बात में हम भगवान हनुमान जी का एग्जाम्पल ले सकते हैं। उनका कन्फ्लिक्ट किसी भी डिफरेंट गॉड फॉर्म के साथ नहीं था, जैसे कि प्रभु जी अभी बोल रहे थे, वो क्लियर थे। मुझे लगता है कि स्टार्टिंग में जब कच्ची मिट्टी होती है, हम बच्चे होते हैं, तब अगर भक्ति का बीज हमारे अंदर डाल दिया जाए तो ज्ञान खुद पे खुद आने लगता है एसोसिएशन में, जब हम भक्तों के साथ रहते हैं। और तो मुझे लगता है कि जैसे जैसे हमारी बुद्धि का विकास होता रहता है, वो विकसित होती रहती है। और तो पहले तो भक्ति जरूरी है, उसके रूखा ज्ञान किसी काम का नहीं होता बहुत, बिकॉज बिना भाव के sometime you just
Shubha Mataji, can you
जी
speak in English? I don't know if everyone can follow only Hindi.
okay. So I would like to give example of Lord Hanuman.
Mhm.
He is very well known as a bhakta, and we can follow his step. He, despite being given so many forms, he was very focused and he never got confused. And I think bhakti is very, very important.
But when you're saying he was given so many forms, maybe can you be more clear? What do you mean by he was given so many
No,
forms?
he was not given, he was introduced from his childhood, that there are many forms which we can see
Is it? Okay.
through like God, Son, God, Lord Indra and everything. But he didn't got confused, so I should go to this or
Okay.
this, because he was following his guru,
Mhm.
and through that he was he was enriched in bhakti yoga as well.
And who
So
was his guru?
Surya Bhagwan.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The sun god.
Yes. And I think it is very, very important that as we were like to introduce bhakti as early as it is possible, so it become easy, because Gyan without bhakti is very, I don't know how to express there myself, very dry. Uh, Sometime it's like people who are very uh, intellectual or intelligent, but if they lack bhakti, they scrutinize anything to an extent that they get lost. So I think
Mhm.
bhakti is the binding
Mhm.
rush. It is very important, and it is very easy if we introduce early in our childhood, if we get introduced with bhakti.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, team 1 gets chance if anyone wants
Yes,
to.
Prabhuji, like I would like to ask like team 2 that everyone everyone don't get an opportunity to go to temples and to have a god at home, or they believe they how can they if they want to meditate, it's the only way they can reach, they can see in the meditation they can feel
They
the
don't have
god.
to go anywhere. That's what you want to say. They don't have to get anything. They don't want to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
even
they can do
even
everything.
rishis and munis, they went to Himalayas and they just meditate. They don't have the form in front of them. They just close their eyes and they can just meditate. So I just want to know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but we can like first guru, as we say, is our mother. If she introduce, we can imagine in our head that this is how, because in scriptures there is a detailed description of God, how our God look like. I have never seen God personally, but I imagine, and so does this sculpture person who sculpt God out of wood, out of stone. They put their imagination on based on the information they get from their mother's scriptures, but there is a bhakti involved in it.
No, Mataji, the debate is not that Bhakti Yoga, it's not between Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. Jnana Yoga is also required. We are saying we can do the Bhakti on a Nirgun form. We don't need
to. Or a Sagun form. Yeah, that is the question.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, the question is a little tricky, but yeah.
Okay. I had a point, Prabhuji, here to tell. Like in the case of Markandeya Rishi, he was concentrating on impersonal form, but later he could realize this the form of the Lord who is sucking the toe of his leg. So it was his later realization. So it was he came to Saguna form from Nirguna form, and also we have lot of examples who have got or who have achieved the supreme destination with the Saguna form worship of the Lord. And very less, almost no examples who have achieved the supreme destination only focusing on the Nirguna form of the Lord.
Okay. So there are examples which says that the perfection of worship is achieved once one moves to to the personal form worship. Correct? That's what you are saying.
And also, I think we read in the Bhagavatam that it is without the impersonalists, they cannot enter Vaikuntha. So,
okay. Yeah. So there is no entry. What do you say, Team 1? Isn't a valid point, or?
Prabhuji, it is valid, I feel, only at the beginning. But again, as I said, there is then a tendency to get confused between which Saguna avatar you should worship.
Okay.
And there is no one answer to that. Like people can worship on Jagannath form, people can worship on Radha Gopinath ji, people can worship on Radha Raman ji, they can worship on Narsimha Dev. And we cannot say that, okay, this form is better than the other form, because all forms are from the same Supreme Personality. So a neophyte may get then confused, because sometimes people have a tendency to think, okay, I think I should worship.
So, but at least for the advanced people, is that okay? When you're saying for neophyte, it is challenge, but if one is guided to go to the next level, is it okay?
Yes, I think for the advanced devotees, it doesn't matter. I mean, because they believe in the Supreme.
So are you saying then it is the superior level of worshipping the personal form for advanced people?
I think it's they don't need to really worry about which form they are worshipping. So because they believe in the Nirgun and the Supreme Source, so they will worship with the same passion. If they go to Narsimha Dev, they worship with the same passion. If they go to Jagannath Ji, or they worship with the same passion if they go to Radha Raman Ji.
What is the destination they are getting if they are worshipping free choice, also the super soul? Yeah. What is the destination they are getting?
I think more devotional service, Prabhuji, because for the Nirguna worship is like, they don't really get distracted between one form and the other form, and they just keep doing the devotional service. The one aim to go back to like Godhead, or to merge to go back to the Supreme Personality, irrespective in which form he is. The
Okay.
doesn't.
The form doesn't matter. Okay. Fine. Is that the case? Team 2? You see the same way?
Yeah, so
Okay.
if the form doesn't matter, then they will go in the formless place because they are worshipping.
Yeah. What is
They are
Krishna
not
saying
carrying.
for that? What is Krishna saying? Based on what you worship, you attain that destination. If you worship me personally, then you come to me. So, Ram Raghav Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. Some arguments are in the interest of debate, Prabhuji.
Yeah. No, I mean, you can also refer that, yeah. So, see, Kardama Muni attained perfection. We read that, right? So, the perfection is attained. But what is that perfection? Is it to, again, after that perfection, what grade in that perfection is the question. No, anyway, I really liked the way that Team 1 struggled to impress. Especially, we all have this, right? No, Bhakti Yoga is the topmost. Personal worship is the best. Yeah. So even people who are believing in that, if they have to say no to it, yeah, it becomes quite challenging. And yeah, as Apu Prabhu was bringing the reference, na, that very important. That is the crux of this whole debate. The crux is that we appreciate the Nirgun and Sagun. Yeah. So the Nirgun form is also a very important aspect. So it's not like, okay, we have an altar and we are. I'm trying to find this verse, Prabhuji. I mean, Apu Prabhu. I don't know if it is 10th canto, but I think we also came across the same verse in 3rd canto or 4th canto where Kapila Muni is explaining that um, worshipping the Murti and s- I think the word used there is called separatist. Is that right?
Can't remember right now.
Is that I think the word is called separatist and separatist. I'm just trying. Yeah, it is in the 3rd canto. Yeah, 3rd canto, 29th verse, 29th chapter, verse number 10. Separatist. Pratik Bhava. So when a devotee worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead and offers result of his activities in order to free himself from this inability of fruitive activities, his devotion is in the mode of goodness. No, this is not. I think, but this is the chapter. But that is very important. So a bhakta is not kind of seeing the other kind of devotion is wrong. Hmm? A devotional service executed by a person who is envious, proud, violent, and are you seeing my screen?
No, Prabhuji.
Okay, you should see it now. Um, Worship of the worship of deities in the temple by a separatist with the motive of material enjoyment, fame, and opulence is devotion in the mode of passion. When a devotee worships the Supreme Person of Godhead and offers result of his activities in order to free himself from inabilities, is in the mode of goodness. The manifestation of unadulterated devotional service is exhibited when one's mind is at once attracted to hearing the transcendental name, qualities of the Lord, just as the Ganges flows. A pure devotee does not accept any kind of liberation by attaining the highest platform as explained one who comes as three modes. I think it will be definitely in this chapter. Yeah, I will look it up and send it. But that is the essence. I am present in every living. So I'm. Okay. Yeah. If someone neglects, is this the one that you are referring? Aham sarvesha bhuteshu bhutatma vastita sada tam Avagnaya mam martya kurute archa vidambanam. Vidambanam is imitation. I think this is. I am present in every living entity as a super soul. If someone neglects or disregards that super soul everywhere and engages himself in worship of deity in the temple, that is simply imitation. Huh?
Yes, close Prabhuji. Almost said.
Yeah. So this is very, very important. Therefore, if one engages in deity worship in the temple and does not consider other living entities, then he is the lowest grade. He is in the lowest grade of devotional service. That's what you were saying, na, Ram Raghav Prabhu, Kanishta Adhikari. One who worships the deity in the temple and does not show respect to others is a devotee in the material platform. A devotee should try to understand everything in relationship with Krishna and try to serve everything in that spirit. One who is advanced in Krishna consciousness can engage not only the living being, but everything in the service of Krishna. Anyway, so yeah, so coming back to the point, right? What we see here is that that the references, yeah, where we are saying that Lord is present everywhere. Lord is present everywhere. So we if we worship everything, it's kind of lacks a kind of focus, isn't it? So when the Lord is present everywhere, then everything is Lord, and then what happens is that we lose the focus of now what to worship. Just imagine if I have to do 100 things at a time, how can I do it at? So it's too much, too hard. But just if, because if the Lord Himself is manifesting in one form, into one form, then isn't it so easy that we could focus there? And as Abu Prabhu and Ram Raghav Prabhu was saying, yes, this is a way definitely far, far, far easy for a neophyte. But is it not easy for an advanced devotee also? Yeah, we are saying that this deity worship is for the neophytes, but it doesn't limit that it's only for the neophyte devotees. Agreed? Or?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, it is not that okay, a neophyte, it's for low class people, and it is actually when we see this is the easier form of accessing the mercy of the Lord, and that way we see that it is not only for the neophytes. uh, it's not like okay for neophytes to get a glimpse, just to get a taste. This deity worship is there. We see there are great personalities who have attained perfection by this process of deity worship. Hmm? Isn't it? Team 2, how we should counter such a scenario?
Prabhuji,
Yes.
yes, Prabhuji. In Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, Srila Prabhupada mentioned the sloka is Pam Bhakti Yoga Paribhavita Hutsaroja Asya Sute Ksitapato Nano Nata Pumsam Yadyad Dhyata Urugaya Vibhavayanti Taddad Vapuh Pranayase Sad Anugrahaya. Oh my dear Lord, your devotees can see through the ears by the process of bona fide hearing, and thus their hearts become cleansed, and you take your seat there. You are so merciful to your devotees that you manifest yourself in the particular eternal form of the transcendence in which they always think of you.
Yes. So what you're referring? Are you saying that so in that way the devotees are always in the worshipping the manifested form or unmanifested form?
It is manifested form, but if they mention, people will confuse which form they want to choose or something. It's according to their desire. For example, some devotees in ISKCON, they want to worship Lord Nrsimhadev. Some want to worship Lord Krishna and Radha. What is the problem? If no, everybody wants to go to Vrindavan only. Somebody wants to stay with Nrsimhadev. What is the problem?
Okay. So, but still it's a personal form, no?
Yes, Prabhuji, it's personal form.
Yep. So there is a confusion. I mean, this you are referring to words that, okay, Ram Raga Prabhu was saying, na, like there have been so many forms, are there a lot of confusion and more variety, more confusion, lack of focus, or even the chance of getting cheated. Kalki Bhagwan photo. I don't know, recently I saw somewhere, yeah. So there is this couple who is sitting in the chair and their photo is being worshipped. So, Venimada Prabhu,
Yes, Prabhuji, the
do we
thing, the
accept that? No, do we
confusion
accept
will.
that? No, if that form is also taken into the heart, is it not
So,
imagination?
yes, Prabhuji, in the sloka and the purport, like a translation, mention that bona fide hearing. So when you
That's very
hear from a
important.
bona fide person, your confusion will go away.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that there should also be, one should take the support of jnana, and not only jnana, but also what is important is the mercy of the spiritual master. Only when these two things happen, then whatever the jnana that is coming will actually fructify and it results to this realization. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. The struggle always is to find the bona fide source. That is the problem.
Yeah, I can say, Prabhuji, if you are sincerely devoted to the Lord, He will show you the path which uh,
Yeah.
He will send the spiritual
How do
master.
I know? How do I know that I'm really sincere? I think that I'm sincere.
For a sincere devotee, that, for example, by doing your act, like you can analyze yourself, am I really using 24 hours in the service of the Lord, or do I have some other engagements? Even though if I have some other engagements, am I really executing or giving the results to the Lord or no? If you analyze yourself, if you completely depends on the Lord, please send me a spiritual master or show me. So definitely God will provide that one.
So what you're saying is, if we sincerely turn to the Lord will send His agent, His representative.
Definitely, Prabhuji.
Okay, nice. Yeah, very important point. Yeah, very nice. I mean, this can go on and in turn and turn, like team A can become team B and team B can become A, and then we go around and still there will always be this fuss until we come to this points of understanding the the value of one form or the other form. Yeah, because when we this is what could happen is that we may envy that, okay, but fact is always fact, and that fact we can understand from the spiritual master, from the acharyas who have kind of what do we call, um, decifying, is that the right word? Huh? Mystifying and decifying. Decifying is to demystifying.
Demystifying.
Yeah, demystifying. Yeah, it's so much mystic. Yeah, that's why so many books and so many knowledge and all. The acharyas have made it such a way that it's a fruit that we can enjoy. Yeah, just imagine, Ram Raghav Prabhu. Yeah, you are a farmer where you have a land and then you have seeds. You have put everything. You have cultivated and for months together. Then finally you got this mango. Or of course it will take even years. Yeah. But just imagine that someone is already done everything and you are inheriting it. Hmm? The fruit is already there, the tree is already there, so you're just taking the fruit. So the acharyas are giving that. The acharyas are giving that. Let me find what is the verse. Does anyone know this? Which? Let me check. Tatyenu kampasu samikshamanam bunja yevatmakrutam vipakam. Is this 10? Yeah, 10, 14, 8. Here, I think even recently Maharaj was also referring this. Tatyenu kampam susamikshamanam bunjaya evatmakrutam vipakam hridva vapurbhir vidadam namaste jivetayo muktipade sadaya bhak. So here we say, we know this is the path. This is the path where it says that, my dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him. Venimata Prabhu. Yeah, I was referring to this element of causeless mercy. Otherwise, even if we are thinking to be serious or being serious, still the element of mercy is still there, required. All the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation. Why? For it has become his rightful claim that he can inherit. Rightful claim is inheritance. I think in Prabhupada purport, or it did Maharaj say, I don't know, let me check. Inheritance. Legitimate son. Yeah. Legitimate son for inheritance. Srila Sridhar Swami explains in his commentary that just as a legitimate son has to simply remain alive to gain an inheritance from his father, one who simply remains alive in Krishna consciousness, following the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, automatically becomes eligible to receive the mercy of the Lord. In other words, he will be promoted to the kingdom of God. Susamikshamanam. Wait. Wait. Samiksha. To wait. Susamikshamanam. It's not just waiting. It's actually, while doing that, what we are doing, following the regulative principles of bhakti. So this is the crux where we need to understand what is that regulative principles of bhakti. What are the traps? What are these things, pitfalls, all these things. If we are carefully navigating through very patiently, irrespective of whatever may come, whatever good may come, whatever bad may come, if we do that, then we inherit by right, by our right. We can claim. What is that? We can claim our mercy. We can claim the mercy of the Lord. Isn't it? Venimada Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So that's how we see that, how to swim successful across such a vast ocean where there are sharks, there are whales, there are snakes and all kinds of things which are very harmful, is just by taking this approach. Whatever might come, let me stay alive. And I'm in Hindi there is saying na, भगवान के पास देर है लेकिन अंधेरा नहीं. I don't know, something like that.
हाँ, भगवान के घर देर है अंधेर नहीं.
Yeah. So yeah. So that there is also because of us. We are delaying our side, then the Lord is also waiting. But yeah, so to conclude, it's very important such kind of things. We think ourselves to understand about others' viewpoint. We don't want to create a kind of ill feel of other people who are not practicing bhakti, who are appreciating the nature. I don't know if this is one of the debates that Dinath Prabhu you may created when we could do it when we are here. But these kind of things can help us, that we cannot become simply puffed up. We can only be very grateful to the Lord that He has put us in the association of people who are on the right path and the subtle and simple path. I think that was the purport, na? That was in the purport Prabhupada is mentioning. If I am going right, no, what is that happened? BG, yeah, BG 5. Oh, sorry, not 10, 12. Yeah, so here Here in the purport, Prabhupada is clearly mentioning for every individual, easy, there is a danger of turning to atheism. Yeah. So for every individual entity, the process of Krishna consciousness, which entails full engagement in devotional service, is the best. Otherwise, what will happen? There is a trap. If one wants to ignore this devotional service, there is a danger of turning to atheism. This is what we see. Sorry. And then we also see that this is quite risky. Yeah? How many lifetimes we want to get the opportunities like this? So it is not advised by the Lord that this is the path. Okay, one takes very, very rigorous conditioning and come to this troublesome path. Therefore, it is advised here that one should not take up this troublesome path of self-realization because there is uncertainty in ultimate result. So I thought that okay, when you guys are presenting, you are picking straight away some references from the purport, but yeah, you have very nicely shared your own experiences and also everyone had a tough time, I think, but it was just for fun. But at the same time, also keep in our mind that we know what is truth, we know what is superior. At the same time, we can, when the opportunity comes, we can explain this same thing as part of our preaching, but we respect everyone. That's the kind of summary of it. Yeah. Thank you very much. Are there anything anyone want to? Actually, I even want to ask. Maybe I think last 5 minutes. Share how was this exercise? How did you feel when you were preparing for the pros or cons?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
We should little start it late. Can you start it maybe? Or
Yeah, yeah, that's right, right. I forgot. I thought it is 1 o'clock. So please start so that we have to close this now. We are
okay.
using the same account.
Yes.
Then I wish you all thank you very much for joining and keep thinking, be active, and practice Bhakti Yoga, the simplest for the simple. पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone.
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण।
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण।